Welcome to another edition of Streams, Pods, and God. I'm Francisco Ruiz from the Retro Rewind podcast, and streaming Enter the Gungeon tonight, but now I'm going to be taking questions from the stream live. You can also send me questions anytime via my social media at Retro Rewind Pod or at FXRUIZX, and the questions can be anything about streaming or podcasting or being a Christ follower, and I'll do my best to answer any of those. Can't promise I'll have all the answers, but if I don't have the answer, I'll do my best to find the answer, and we will discuss those answers here. All right, so let's get started. First, we have a question from Backup 14. How do you integrate recording a stream and voice chatting on Discord? That is actually something I have not done yet, Backup. I usually don't have Discord open just because that requires more resources on my system. And already I think I have like about 2% or less of my system resources that are free. Not to say that, I mean, maybe having voice Discord would be fine. Whoa, don't fall in the pits. That would be the pits, if you know what I mean. But essentially what it would be is, I think it actually wouldn't be too hard for me to do, because right now, essentially all the sound coming in, like what you're hearing for the game, as well as my voice, is all coming in through the line in from my mixer out to my Mac Mini. So all I would really need to do is any computer sound essentially is just going into the mixer and coming back out to the Mac Mini. So if any of you wanted to join a Discord voice channel, even right now, we could probably do it. And that might be actually an interesting way to take questions in the future. Actually have a call-in type thing. That'd be interesting. I want to, here's the thing, if we end up with very few questions, or if we end up with very few questions, we can try it tonight. Otherwise, I'll table that and actually do a test run so I can know what I'm talking about, legit style. But that's an awesome question, Backup. So essentially, all I would do is turn on Discord, go into a voice channel, and then that audio would get pumped into my mixer and then go back out to the computer. So it's really the main tool that's allowing for it is my mixer. So that's how I'd answer that for the time being. Let's see. Then I think Dale had a question. I think that was kind of just a random question. Ever been so up that you don't want to come back to what brings you down? Yes, I have been there. Definitely vacationing in places like Yosemite or Hawaii. Totally get that. Let's see. Next question. I think this comes from Geek Devotions. What are the advantages and challenges of recording a podcast while live streaming? The main advantage of it is, well, it depends on, I guess, reasons behind. Let's see. Do I want this heart? No, can't buy that. If you're trying to, for instance, let's say, go for affiliate on Twitch, which means you open up some monetary opportunities, like getting bits. Like, thank you guys again for all the bits. If you choose to podcast and stream at the same time, then you're building up toward that. You're putting in your hours of streaming, and if you get viewers, that's just increasing your viewership, which I'm making this I'm simplifying this. It's a little bit more complex than this, but it just gives you more opportunity to gain followers, gain viewers, gives you more exposure. If you're just on more, and if you're podcasting anyway, I mean, you could say you might as well just be on streaming. The disadvantage, though, is that it requires more bandwidth, and it's more taxing on your system. Right as of now, until we can get Lightstream to work, we're pretty much having to wait until. We're pretty much just streaming a Google Hangout. We're just taking the Google Hangout, and that's all that's going out to the stream. Not much fancy stuff. I think we have some overlays, but there's no chat or any other things that make streams nice and pleasant. So if my computer was a little nicer, I think that wouldn't be as much of an issue. But hopefully having a tool like Lightstream will help with that. Whoa, nice. Yes, I want to re-up my ammo for that. So those are some of the other disadvantages. Is if you get you can't. One other disadvantage is that depending on how you do your show, you can't really interact with chat unless you want to do a lot of editing after the fact. So I try. That's why for some of you who have watched Retro Rewind podcast while we stream, we don't interact all that much except for that one social media section, or at the beginning or at the very end, or if there are like we've made a mistake and we're in edit mode. That's a great question though, Geek Devotions, and also I think Backup, you had a great question as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but I wanted to do that. Let's see. Next question comes from. I'm sorry, I'm missing some of the other stuff you're talking about, guys, but try and just stay with questions, stay on point. What's Lightstream? Free Hugs for Free asks. It is a site where essentially all you are beaming, you're sending your game footage, your camera, all the material that you would normally put in OBS is going out to this web service called Lightstream, and then from there, that is then you can save like overlays within Lightstream and things like that, and you can also have the thing that I still have yet to see work, but it has possibility. You can have multiple people on like little bubbles without using Skype, little bubbles in their own screens on the same stream. Like right here, you see me in the lower right-hand corner. Well, I could maybe have someone else over there in the lower left-hand corner. Both of us video, both of us looking at this game, sort of like shoutcasting it. So it provides advantages like that if it were to work. I have yet to see it work in practice, but that's what it's supposed to do. And you also get things like chat integrated into that. You can bring in things like Streamlabs or Stream Elements, incorporate overlays from that, and you can save those so that even if you were, say, to go to another, like not your base computer where you have your OBS overlays, you go work on, I don't know, a Chromebook, for instance, you could still have those niceties up in the cloud. So that's what Lightstream and services like that can offer. Stay on target. Exactly. Then Geek Devotions asks, how do you do Google Hangouts to Twitch? Okay, so thanks again for the bits. Free Hugs for Free. Essentially, what is this room? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Golden Child. This room reminds me of The Golden Child. Oh my gosh. Oh, great. That's fantastic. Okay. So essentially what I do is we have a Google Hangouts going. So this answer, you'll have to know a little bit about OBS, but essentially you have your Google Hangout going, you have OBS going, then you create a new source within your stream, within your scene in OBS, and you make it a window capture, and then you have the window be your your Google Hangout. Now that captures the video. How I do the audio, again, is the magic of a mixer that allows for a mix minus, where I can take in audio from all the sources and actually pick which audio goes back out into the computer. So I'm actually, for the stream, I'm having my audio go out, and then the co-host audio go out on a different channel for the stream. All of it also goes into my digital audio recorder on one track here. So it's really, I mean, it's a bit of work. It's a bit of a challenge getting to figure out the mixers. The awesome thing about Mackie mixers, though, is that their instruction manuals that come with it, they actually work humor into the instruction manual. It's kind of comical. You can, and if you're ever curious, you can download their manuals for free, and just to see what I'm talking about. It's pretty fun what they do with their user guides. But that's mainly how you do it. So you have a source in OBS that's your window capture of your Hangout, and you just fill that full screen however you want. And then you have the audio pumping out from the computer into the mixer and from your microphone into the mixer, then the mixer back into your computer. Yes, I agree, Geek Devotions. Lightstream does have great potential. It just needs to work. I'm hoping it works sooner rather than later. They told me that bug should be fixed. We'll see, though, come this Friday. Okay, what item is this? Remote bullets. Okay. Let's see. Other questions. Oh, Ella, love the Mackie. Yes, I do as well. Built like a tank. Geek Devotion says, how do you plan out your episodes? I know you have the advantage of having people vote, but how do you plan ahead? Yeah, pretty much what we'll do is we take the top 5 when we're out of movies. We'll take the top 5 movies on our voting list, and those will just be. I had to go. No, I'm going to use the teleporter here. No, thank you. Going through that again. We take the top 5 movies that were voted on, and then those just become our next 5, and we just plan out. Okay, with the upcoming. It used to be Thursdays, but now upcoming Fridays. That were every other Friday. We map just a movie to that Friday, and that's when we cover it. And then we send out. I will. Oh no! Mini boss time. Oh crap! I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm totally missing. Let's try my elephant gun. Oh no! Let's try the AC thing. Whoa! 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 Hey now! Hey, this is different. Did it change on me? This is a different gun. Did I get a different gun? I'm totally confused. Where's my big mamma jamma? Yeah, this looks different. I'm very confused. It's the AC-15. I remember being a lot bigger. Oh, maybe it changes now? I don't know. That's really odd. I don't know what happened. Do you guys remember it being bigger? Well, it doesn't matter. And, well, it really doesn't matter now. But that's how we plan out the episodes, Geek Devotions. Just a matter of taking that top 5, and then any movies that have been nominated in the interim of the last 5, I'll add to the list, and then those can get voted on. Then, yeah, those top 5 we do those, and then when we get done with those 5, go on to the next. Sometimes we put in special episodes, like this upcoming one is my birthday episode, and we're going to do a birthday episode for Paul. And there's also like our end of the year episode with Lord of the Rings. We're going to be finishing off Lord of the Rings here in December. And then let's see, and yeah, like our anniversary episodes are usually, and our game episodes are things we intersperse. And then there's like the Patreon, there's other special episodes, and those we just try to plan out ahead of time. But that's mainly why. Geek Devotions, do you script write your episodes? Well, I think you know the answer to that. But no, we do not. Yes and no. If we have elaborate introductions, I will script those out. Like, for instance, our 100th episode, where we had this whole change in Alice and the flight computer and stuff like that. I did script all that out. Like the day before is a little ridiculous. But no, we don't script out. Like, I'll write down my likes and Paul write down his likes, and Paul will actually write down the memory mind meld. So that's somewhat scripted. I just read that. And there's the transitions, the main introductions, outros, stuff like that is scripted. But the main content that changes week to week is not scripted. Great question. Great questions, guys. Dale asks, what does Paul do for his part of Retro Rewind podcast? He always does the outro, which has been kind of an organic thing. I'll do the intro, he'll do the outro, or the post credits. I'll do the cold open, he'll do the post credits, whatever. And then he does the memory mind meld. When you listen to the episode, the parts he talks, he does. But sort of in the background, he does a great job of the what do you remember social media posts to get feedback of the particular movie or game we're covering. So he does that. He takes care of the Facebook group cover photos. So you guys have probably seen those in the Facebook group, how the group cover photo has changed to associate with the movie we just released. And so he's been doing that. And he's just a really good sounding board. And I try to work with him to figure out how we want to continue making the show, any changes that need to be made, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's really good having him as my co-host, first mate, XO. Geek Devotions, LOL, I built our original podcast opener in 15 minutes right before I put everything together to upload. Nice. Well, that's why you gotta get clicks on the comms to figure that, to make that better. But I mean, maybe it was another quick throw it together, but your new intro is really top notch. I really love your new intro, Geek Devotions, for Comm Talk. Let's see. Meant to mention that your changing of the Facebook cover is a fantastic tactic. Been meaning to start doing that ourselves. Yeah, that's something that I think we sort of took inspiration / stole from something Feel and Film podcast has been doing for a while now. And I'm sure other podcasts do it too, but I think that's the main place we saw it. And Paul's like, what do you think of doing this? And I was like, well, I mean, I hemmed and hawed a little bit about it because it doesn't really keep our branding so much. I mean, we have our Retro Rewind podcast in the title all the time. That's my main stipulation. But I think it does add some nice flavor to the Facebook group. So I'm glad you like it. So that's good. That's good feedback. Dale says, was it always you and Paul, or were there other partners? Well, the prototype episode, which ended up being episode 15 on the Fifth Element, could be 16. I think it's 15 though. That was actually the very, very, very first episode of Retro Rewind. Ooh, actually, that's not entirely true. There was even another proto version even before that. Well, the first actual episode of Retro Rewind podcast was the Fifth Element episode, which I just did with my wife, Christy. And it was just sort of a trial to see what would this thing be like if we did it. I have an idea in my head before I can't remember if Paul was still thinking about it or if he wanted a proof of concept or if maybe I just wanted a proof of concept, but Christy was willing to do it. And so we did Fifth Element as like a basic sort of a scaffolding, +1 something. I don't know what that is. +1 to bullets, +1 to bullet. Maybe that's just increased damage? Let's check that out. Masterworks bullets. Peer-reviewed studies have shown that these bullets are precisely 1 better than normal. Okay. Great. I think that probably just means 1 extra damage. So Christy, and she was also in our first episode to begin with on Superman 3, but I'd say other than that sort of unofficial partnership, official partnership, since it's a marriage contract, I don't know. No, it's just been me and Paul. I think I think the Fifth Element is the only episode he has not been on. Otherwise, he has been on every single one. I can't think of one he hasn't been on. So, hey, Paul. Let's see. Other questions here. Thank you for that question, Dale. Free hugs for free. What was your favorite cast so far? Like my favorite episode of Retro Rewind podcast? That's so tough. I have favorite intros. That's more easy. I think the Top Gun intro that you helped us with, Free Hugs for Free, is either 1 or 2. I mean, I put so much time, I feel like, into the 100th episode intro that's gotta be my number 1. But I really love how the Top Gun episode, which I think that's 115, if I'm not mistaken. I think that may be up there. Just in like I could listen to that over and over again. But thanks for that question, Free Hugs. But overall podcast. Oh man, I mean, I did re-listen to our Dragonheart episode, and that made me laugh, which when an episode which you've done and listened to already several times, and you go back and listen to it again, makes you laugh, that's a good one. So I don't do that often, but for whatever reason, I couldn't remember how we rated Dragonheart, and that's when probably because we were doing a funny bit of math for it, which I shouldn't have been doing, and so I couldn't quite remember. But that's why I re-listened, and it was fun. So for now, I guess I'll say Dragonheart, but that could change very easily. Let's see here. I will get to the next question after I clear the room. These blue bullets are a bit tricky, so okay. Podcast. Okay, yes. Free hugs. Okay, that is what you meant. Geek to Ocean's meat bun, like meat pie? Who made the meat pie? I am me a meat popsicle. Wow. Oh, guys, if for those who watch this after the fact, you should be a part of the chat because we have some awesome people here chatting away during these streams. So, and thank you to each of you for being here. Free hugs, Paul, Geek Devotions, Dale, backup. It's always awesome to have you here. You mean the worst. And why did you spell worst that way, Paul? Oh, and you did the hot dog emote. Okay. Let's see. Top Gun was your favorite too? Fair. Free hugs. Geek Devotions. Which was the worst episode to make where everything went wrong? How did you get through it? Oh my gosh, Geek Devotions. The one that went wrong the most, I mean, I still say that the Masters of the Universe one. Oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. Scratch that. Episode number 4, which was Flight of the Navigator. Everything didn't go wrong, but that's when the biggest thing went wrong, which was we lost the entire episode. We finished recording. We were done for the night. I hit stop on GarageBand, which I was using I was recording straight into software at the time. So I hit stop, and then GarageBand crashed, and we lost the entire podcast. No me gusta. So we actually, fortunately, the guest was a friend of mine, so we asked him back on, and we sort of, me, Paul, and him essentially repeated what we had said, trying to act surprised as best we could. But yeah, episode 4 was actually a retake, and that was hard getting through, and just because I felt like I let him down, felt like I let Paul down some, but they're fine, and we got through it, and it ended up being a good episode, and yeah, we persevered almost 150 episodes more. So good question, Geek Devotions. Dale asks, so which episode was it that made you go, oh, we now have a show, or we got this? Sometimes I still wonder that. Come on, Mike. Sometimes I still wonder that if we got this, because I still get like, I'm not prepared. I don't feel prepared for this. Inevitably, it turns out just fine. But I'm trying to think if none really come to my head. I feel like each episode, I'm wanting it to be one that people will enjoy, and I pray for that. Oh wait, did it move? I don't see it breathing. I think we're okay. What is that? Gun bow failed experiment. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Just one shot, but that reloads pretty quick. So I think, you know what? I guess my most honest answer, Dale, is after each episode, if I'm listening back and I'm laughing, I feel like that episode, we got it. But that doesn't mean the next episode we will get it. So I feel like it's in a way good not to be comfortable and like, oh yeah, we'll just phone this in because people will listen. It doesn't matter what we do. It'll be good. So I think that's kind of, I mean, that can be dangerous because then you can have imposter syndrome and wonder, oh man, I'm no good. No one's going to listen to this. And I struggle with that sometimes, for sure. But I think it's also, you need a little bit of that to make sure you don't get complacent. So I hope that answered your question decently. Let's see, next question. You guys have a lot tonight. Thank you so much. Paul, someone, Free Hugs for Free asked Paul who is his favorite guest. And Paul says, my bandwidth is currently extremely limited that I can't see or hear the video. Oh no, Paul. Oh yeah, and you guys are talking to each other about the move. Favorite guest? Oh, too difficult, says Paul. Very politically. Probably I would answer the same way. Dale, who's closest to the mic? Me? I don't know. Still packing. Oh, man. Well, I hope you can hear now a little bit, Paul, so that it's not just... You're not having to constantly just check the chat and interact that way. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, Lopan the man. You came just probably before when I was away. I don't know if you're still here. How was your camping trip? Hopefully it was good. He asked, differences could take... Oh, you asked. Taken by the aliens for talking bad about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yes, I am a duplicate. So enjoy. This is the beta unit from Last Starfighter. I became Francisco really quickly. I think this will be the last question at Geek Devotions. If someone gets another one in before I finish answering this one, I'll answer that one. And we'll just go like that. Geek Devotions asks, which was the absolute worst movie you've done so far? Well, that's kind of up to whoever was on it and the movie, because I could think a movie was horrible and everyone else could think, well, I guess we have had not unconditional tragics, unanimous tragics. So I'm trying to think what those were, though. Oh, man. Jeez. Yeah, none are really coming to mind. Oh, that's interesting. It does a whole, lightning effect. I don't know if that's helpful, though. Is that doing a lot of damage? Oh, this is my only other gun? Oh, okay. I guess I'll use it. Doesn't seem like it's going to be... It seems like this is more for clearing a room because it has this, lightning AoE. But, oh well, we'll just use it for now. Am I seriously going to die on you? I hope not. Oh, of course. Right when I use my blank, you stop shooting. Ah, man. I'm still thinking about your question, Geek Devotions. You know what? Here's what I'll do. That will be my opening question for next time. And I'll actually come through, relook at the movies we've done, take a look at the unanimous tragics, and give a bigger explanation, like a summary of that episode as sort of to highlight it and also to talk about why it was the worst movie. Geek Devotions, what color does the Smurf turn if you choke it? Red. Everyone knows that. Which was the worst for me? Oh, okay. Well, I'll answer that too next time. So, good teaser for next time. So if you want to hear the answer to that question live, definitely tune in next Monday for Modern Mondays. I don't know if I'll still be playing Enter the Gungeon, but I'll be playing some modern pixel art game and answering your questions during the streams, pods, and God question. Thank you again to Geek Devotions, Free Hugs for Free, Paul J. Powers, Lopan the Man, Dale, backup for submitting your questions. Glad I got to answer. Hopefully I didn't miss any of them, but glad I got to answer them. And if you want to have yours answered live, check us out on twitch.tv/RetroRewindPod, Monday nights, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Till then, talk to you next time. Bye.